Hello. I just had an epiphany, and I need to talk about it. So I will. Made a document. Gonna write things down. So, TLDR, I figured out OSU tournaments, and I'm gonna tell you why this is so huge. Alright. So let's start from the beginning. This is gonna be like a YouTube video essay moment. So, why is OSU tournaments? Okay, that's her title. I'm gonna put apply title. Why is OSU tournaments? Okay, so OSU tournaments have this thing where OSU has a significant advantage over other games. All right, OSU is amazing because OSU has something that other games could only dream of, and that is lag/ping doesn't matter. Okay? Now, this is huge for tournaments because you can have the shittiest internet or be from the other side of the world, and you can still play in OSU tournaments. Anywhere, right? That's great. No other game has this because, competitive games are usually played, against each other and not alongside each other. That's how OSU is. OSU is played alongside each other, and you don't interact with your opponent. That's why lag doesn't matter. So why is this so huge? Well, it means that OSU can have international online tournaments. That's OSU, right? And it's always been this way. Okay? The first fucking OWC was OWC because it can be. Okay? OSU can have international online tournaments. Now, international tournaments are great, but it comes with a catch. And it comes with a catch of time zones. People gotta wake up and go to sleep. Okay? People gotta wake up and go to sleep. Right? You can't have someone from Japan, from Europe, and from North America, or, well, all the Americas, let's not be colonial here, to just, you can't have people from all over the world playing at the same time. That's just not, that's not, it's not, you can't have that, okay? It's just, that's why 14 UTC, one to two matches every weekend for 8 weekends straight. This is OSU, okay? And it's a completely natural development of this here. All right, I'm actually gonna just... Okay? So this develops into this, which ends up... That's why we end up over here. That's a completely natural development, and that's why OSU tournaments are the way they are right. However, this fucking sucks. And let me tell you why. So, reason that this is not good is because you have to dedicate 8 weekends of your life, potentially, to an OSU tournament. Right? That sucks. And this is why no other game would ever want to do this. This is horrible. Okay? If you have, pretty much every other game that does online tournaments does instead, they do one weekend, maybe even one day, lasts for let's say it lasts for let's say it lasts for 48 hours. 48 hours, and then it's done. Okay? And, you can have breaks in between or whatever. And the reason why this is good is because only one weekend or day is taken off your schedule, right? You can prioritize all your matches on that one weekend, right? You go to that one Smash tournament, your Smash local, and you play the entire bracket there, right? You go to a concert of your favorite artist, and they play their songs for like 2 hours, right? It would be kind of weird if you went to the concert every day and they played one song every day, right? It would still last the same amount of time total. It's just that you have to now dedicate this many days to go to that place, and you can't be anywhere else, right? So that's why this is better. But of course, as mentioned earlier, we've ended up here because of this, and we can't have this, right? Unless we were to do regionals, but people want to do international tournaments. Okay? So then there's, of course, viewers. All right, if you are a viewer, or let's say you're a broadcasting company, and you would look at this, you would be like, this is hell. No one wants to watch this, right? Like, people still watch OSU tournaments, don't get me wrong, but like, you need a much more dedicated viewer to look up the times of the matches, to keep up, and they have to, they have to get that one time instead of, let's say Dota tournament, right? You have that grand finals weekend. You have 6 hours of matches straight. There's a starting time, and just watch it all. You can even grab your friends over. You can get some popcorn and snacks and watch it on the telly. Right? That's great, right? Oh, you can't have that for OSU tournaments. So it's not as good for the viewers, because a less dedicated viewer is just not going to be able to keep up with this, right? It's just not a thing. Okay. So you have viewers there. Okay? And then it's just not just the schedule, but just commitment. It's so much easier to just commit as a player to that one day. That one day, it's tough. It's a tough, long day, but then it's done, right? You can practice for it beforehand, and then it's just done. It's just that one weekend. The amount of times I've seen OSU tournament player burnout, it's ridiculous, and it's all because of this. I've had it myself, right? I've experienced it myself, and it's always such a relief when tournaments are over. It's like, I get eliminated, I'm like, I'm free, finally. Because that is how it is. It's just so much, this is so much of a commitment. So, of course, the optimal solution would be to have all of this, international online tournaments, that are one weekend. That's the solution, right? But how do you do that? That's it's impossible. Let me actually let me mute my Discord. Sorry about that. Okay. So this is a lot. So how do you fix this? How do you have a one weekend tournament at all? Well, let's start with qualifiers into small bracket on Saturday, into small bracket on Sunday. Okay. This is what I did for Drench program. This is what I'm doing with Charlie's perfect math class. And it's not a solution, because qualifiers going to have to cull a lot of players, and not everyone gets to play, right? This is just for the small elite top players. It's not a fun experience for everyone. So this is you can have this, right? And then starts at the fabled 14 UTC. Okay, so this works because it works, but it only works for a small number of people. You can't have a large bracket, which is the reason why people want to play in tournaments anyways, because they want to play against people. They don't just want to play a qualifier and then just never make it. Okay, so what do you do? This is when we get to this, okay? So back like a year ago, when I was, maybe, okay, let's say 8 months ago, when I was planning Charlie's Perfect Math class, I was thinking of like formats and stuff. I was thinking, what if you have like 3 regions, like time zone regions, okay? And then you have like the top players from each region go into the final bracket, right? So then you could have the regional time zones, right? And you could have a full 1 weekend bracket for each, right? You would have this for each of those regions. So you would have the Americas region, the Europe and Africa region, and then the Asia Pacific region, right? And it would like start, like you would have 3 regions, 1 weekend, or maybe even 1 day for each region, and it's like 4 to 8 hours, and you can have the starting times be like 10 a.m. for each. So it would be like 10 a.m. JST, which is UTC 9. That would be 1 UTC. Let's put that. And you could have like 10 a.m. Central European time, which is plus. Well, it's now right now it's +2 because of daylight savings. So it would start at 8 UTC, and then you could have like the American one, which is 10. Let's just put PST. Doesn't really matter. -7. So it would start at 17 UTC. Okay, and then you would have a bracket for each, and then the top players from each region go to the finals. Now this, on paper, initially sounds fine, right? And then the final bracket would be like on the Sunday, and it would be at like 14 UTC. Only a few players, 4 teams. Okay? This would work just fine. But the problem is, okay, how many of each region go? And this is what I couldn't figure out last year, how to do this. Right? I just had this in my head. I thought it could be a good idea, but just dividing who goes into the final bracket, how would you do that? Okay. And today I finally figured it out. I had an epiphany. I was on a walk. I go on walks, and on walks I always have nice thoughts. Okay. So how do you solve this unsolvable problem? So what you have is you have this starts all the way in registrations. Okay? So when you register for the tournament, you pick one of the time zone regions. Okay? Let's call them A, E, and U. Okay? So you have the Asia Pacific, Europe and Africa, and then AM for Americas. Okay. Alright, pick one of the time zone regions. So that would be AP, EA, or AM. Okay. So this is on top of like your other stuff. Okay, so you would have, you know, you would register to a tournament like normal. It's either your team or your or player, it doesn't matter. Right? All good. And then what you do is you set this aside, all right? So set it aside for later. Okay? Then what you have qualifiers. You have qualifiers. And for qualifiers, what you do is you have just a regular qualifiers. Okay, so let's say from qualifiers, have an X number. Actually, you don't. Qualifiers are just to determine seeding. Let's say this, just to determine seeding. Nothing else. All right. And then you decide the final bracket size. Okay, so this is the final week at Sunday, right? This is this right here. Okay, you decide the size of this final bracket. Let's say we have the top 6 play on the final day. Okay, this is 14 UTC Sunday. Yeah, 14 UTC Sunday. Okay. So you have that. Now you have 6 players. This is important. You have 6 players that play on the final day. Then what you do is you look. Actually, I'm gonna do. Actually. That. Okay? And then you decide the final bracket size, top 16. Okay. Now, you look at qualifier results. Now, you could have this for like top 12, but I'm going to do it this way. So what you have is you look at top 6, and then you look at the region makeup of the top 6. So let's say that top 6 looks like this. You have, I'm just going to use players here as an example. So let's say that the top score of qualifiers is Arnold 2-4. Let's say number 2 is, I'm going to go with Cookiesy. Okay? Cookiesy, I cannot type Chokum, and yeah, Cookiesy gets number 2 in qualifiers. Right? Then you have Bubble Man. Bubble Man gets number 3. Right? This is completely arbitrary. I'm just coming up with names. Right? And then you have you got Wobblef Wolf. Wobblef Wolf had a God mode run. Okay. And then you got like Mr. Eck and let's put White Cat. Okay. So here we have some players. This is the top 6 of qualifiers. Okay. And then you look at this, and you see, okay, this is 1x from the Americas region, right? Which is Arnold. Then you have 2x from the Asia Pacific region. You have Cookiesy and Mr. Eck. And then you got 3x from the Europe Africa region. Okay? And what you do is you have, then you do the, then you go Saturday bracket. Okay, this is the Saturday bracket. This is a week after qualifiers. Okay? And what you do is you have, like, let's say, have the 64 top scorers of each region from qualifiers, right? So you have, or maybe you could have, you could make this more fair. You could have the 184. That's the number, right? 184. Yeah, 184 top scores of qualifiers. Actually, I'm just gonna do this. I have top 64 scores from each region. Qualifiers. Play in Saturday bracket. And the Saturday bracket looks like this. So you have start times look like that, okay? And each region plays its own separate bracket, okay? And from this Saturday bracket, you look at what you had here, okay? So in the America side, right, the top one player of AM gets through and is first seed for final bracket. Okay? Then you have top 3 players from EA get through. Seeds, let's make that 3, 4, and 6 for final bracket. And then you have the Asia Pacific region, which in this case is 2. So the top 2 players from AP get through, and that would be seeds 2 and 5 for final bracket. Okay, so the final bracket would have I get okay. I'm gonna change this a little. Okay, we're gonna make this top 8. Let's make it top 8. Okay, and we'll add some players because you would want everyone to start. Wait, let me think about this. You could still have top 6, okay. But yeah, I'm just gonna... You would just have like it would have some more complicated bracket shenanigans, but it's doable, trust me. Where you have, and that this is what the final bracket would look like. It would have the first seed, only one player from the Americas region, only one player from the Europe Africa region, and one player from the Asia Pacific region, right? And then they compete in the final bracket. That's how you can have an international tournament with a large bracket, okay, that have different start times and still have a tournament. Like holy shit, right? This is great for viewers, right? It's great for the players because they get to play their preferred time. And it's just great overall, you know? Top 6 play 14U2. There you go. You have this. I should probably put this as advances. Right? Isn't this like an insane format for a 1v tournament? It's based off of the qualifier results, who gets through. And then you could have top 64 scores, so you could have a bracket for each region. It's so good. It's so good. Like, this is revolutionary. Like, think about it. It's insane. Obviously, this wouldn't work for a tournament like Suiji, right? That have right? You would actually have to have like regional teams and whatever that would have to agree. So if you want to do the Corsace, you know, where you have a team from with everything and every match has to start 14 UTC, you know, I'm not stopping you, but I think this would just work, and it would just be so fun. Yeah, thanks for watching. I just needed to get this out.